I'm in Gainz.
It makes me this like filter makes me look even more balder than I did or than I was than I am.
Yeah, it makes you look very very balding.
I was just very tired of the Donald Trump thin long hair. So we're here for another month, and one of my electric shavers has like clipper guards, and I didn't realize it. Like it was like stored in like my zipper pocket of like my little man. I call it the man bag, you know, where you keep your man products. Uh, and I was like, Sam, do you mind just like cutting my hair? So we were watching the White Sox play last night, and
Nice.
I just sat down on the chair and she cut my hair. So I was like, cool, because I wasn't gonna. I was like, you know what? I was like, I'm not gonna pay for a haircut. Like my mom was a hairstylist, so once I get back, I'll get my haircuts done by her for free. So I was like,
Nice.
one more month in like 100-degree weather. I'm tired of like my hair sweating all over the place, and like when I'm running, like my hair just is just like soaked to the bone. So I was like,
Yeah.
let's just shave it. Why not? It'll grow back.
Yeah. Yeah. True. Yeah, it's kind of crazy to think about. I've been back on the Cape since like June. It's been like, I think today's like the second month. It's been 2 months, like to the day today. It's kind of crazy. But what was I gonna say? Isn't it wild that we saw a White Sox game just like a couple months ago or a few months ago?
Yeah. It was that after March? Was that in June? That was in June, right?
I think it was in June. Yeah, that was this season.
They are if they start playing how they should be playing, they should make it to the playoffs. But they've been losing some games for no reason. Tim Anderson, like just got injured. Like one of their best players, the shortstop. He's like injured. I think it was like 15 weeks. So by the time like playoffs like start, like he'll be finally eligible to play. Which hopefully if they make the playoffs, he'd be able to play. But yeah, buddy, that was a fun time.
Yeah, it was a good time. I drank a little too much with Mr. Bew.
Hey, there's no problem with that, right?
No problem at all.
in like 2 weeks, we got football starting, which is like really nice to see. I thought it was really interesting that I sent you that post, but that was the first time anyone's heard about that. How Tom Brady could have went to the Raiders and Gronk.
Yeah.
And John Gruden screwed it all up.
Yeah.
Hey, good thing John Gruden has a job. Not.
Josh McDaniels is an absolute beast. It's just preseason, but I'm a little intimidated to see what ends up happening this week with the Raiders Patriots. But the Raiders are going to be scary good this year, like scary good. Devontae Adams apparently is freaking lights out in Las Vegas. So
I don't know. I'm not too familiar with the Raiders, but I'm not worried about them.
They're scary good, buddy. Like
no quarterback touches Kirk Cousins. So I don't know what you're talking about.
Derek Carr is like check down Charlie apparently. But like that is like what defined like much of Tom Brady's career. But he's got some weapons. Like Hunter Renfrow like showed up last year. He's got Devontae Adams now, arguably one of the best wide receivers in the league. Josh Jacobs is a freaking solid RB1. Darren Waller.
I'm still kind of upset because I don't understand why Devontae Adams left Aaron Rodgers. That's like one of those things you never see. It's like if it was like Marvin Harrison leaving Peyton Manning. It's like that combination. Like if Marvin Harrison all of a sudden just jumped the ship and just went to the Raiders. We see it in basketball too. It's just like these people are just like they're just like rushing to that next team to see if they can get that championship before they retire. And I think that's what Devontae Adams did. Like you were saying, the Raiders are not. I mean, they're not a bad team. They have their people. I mean, they just messed up in the playoffs. Like who's
They were not meant to go far into the playoffs. Like honestly, I think how far they got was really impressive. Like with the talent that they had, their run, like their freaking their kicker Carlson is an absolute beast. He might be one of the most clutch kickers in the league right now.
Yeah, I mean, cheers to them. They're in the AFC though, right?
Raiders are in the AFC. Yes.
Yeah. I'm not worried about it. Vikings don't have to worry about it until the Super Bowl, so I don't care about it. So I don't, they have their
Yeah.
time in the AFC. AFC has way too many good people. I mean, the Chiefs, you got the Buccaneers, or Buccaneers, and no, they're in the NFC. Sorry,
Bucks are in the NFC. Yeah.
you got the Patriots, you got the Raiders, you got a
Bills.
couple
The Bills are going to be
Bills.
freaking scary good this year. Scary good. Josh Allen freaking who did they play this past week? He was lights out on the Broncos.
First off, as a football fan, why are you talking about preseason? What is preseason got to? It's like Allen Iverson talking about practice. Why are you talking about preseason? Don't mean jack shit.
It's
I think
illustrative of what's to come.
See the Vikings. Kevin O'Connell. I almost said McDaniels for some. I think you were saying McDaniels earlier.
Yeah.
And he's a smart guy. He didn't play Dalvin Cook. He didn't play Kirk Cousins, Justin Jefferson.
Yeah.
You know why? Because why would you risk injury? I don't understand preseason. Play the rookies. Play the rookies. Don't play any starters. I would never want, if I was Kirk Cousins, I'd be like, yeah, I'm not stepping out on the field until September 11th. No. I would be like, yeah, you guys can play lollygag with someone else. I don't know.
No, they just had freaking 6-7 months off or something like that. You need them to be fresh, but you don't want to play them a lot, right? Like the max you should play is the third or the last, whatever, because I think the Raiders are playing 4 preseason games, which is weird because they did the Hall of Fame game.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
The last preseason game, your starters should play between 1 to 2 quarters. 1 to 2 quarters. No more than past halftime because once again, injury risk too high. But they need to be full speed because if they're not, they're going to get trashed by teams that are up to full speed.
Yeah,
That's my opinion.
Yeah. No, I mean it makes sense. It just I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like a weird thing. It's like I don't know. I think two quarters is like too much. Like maybe just like 1 quarter because
Yeah.
I mean it's to the point where it's like how many reps do these people even do like on the side? I mean I remember when Stephon Diggs was on the Vikings and I followed him a lot more. Obviously, I don't really care for him right now because he's not on my team anymore. But the reps this guy took on the off season compared to I don't know. I mean, I'm guessing wide receivers do this, but he was doing full on drills where he was pressed against someone every day. He was running at full speed every day until up to the season. So
yeah,
I mean, I'm assuming Justin Jefferson probably does the same thing. I mean, he's almost in the same caliber. I think Stephon and Justin were number 1 and 2 on the rankings for fantasy football, which shout out to the Vikings for making good wide receivers. But everyone keeps hating on Kirk Cousins, but I get it. He went to Josh Allen, but Stephon Diggs started on the Vikings, so
yeah. No, Kirk he's a solid NFL starting quarterback. He's not the best. Sorry, Kirk, you'll never be the best. But he's solid middle of the pack, NFL starting quarterback for sure.
Yeah, I feel like if he played under Brett Favre, kind of like Aaron Rodgers did, I think he would have probably a better career. I think that's why Aaron Rodgers had such a good career because Brett Favre taught Aaron Rodgers to force the ball sometimes and it'll be worth it. I think that's why people hate on Aaron Rodgers a lot because he's high in interceptions every year, but he has that Brett Favre mentality. Just because there might be a 10% chance that when Sidney Rice was on the Vikings, if it was a 10% chance, I remember Brett Favre just throwing one with triple coverage to Sidney Rice, and he would jump up because he had those basketball hops, and he would just one hand grab in the touchdown. But Kirk Cousins, he will never do that. He'll never see something and throw something where the risk is way too much than the reward for him, and I think that's why he struggles to be one of the top. Well, he's not even on the top 10 list, which is surprising because the touchdown to interception ratio was insane. He had so many touchdowns and so little interceptions, and what is it? I think he has that stat for the last 5 years, like the yards and whatnot. I can't remember. But anyways, let's not talk about this. Now introducing the Football Gainz podcast. Yeah, the only thing before we start talking about it is like, should we talk about the run today or no?
Yeah, for sure.
Sometimes I just hate talking about myself, but boys and girls, I did run 19 miles today, most I've ever ran. So it's a PR, and it was crazy. I tend to wake up earlier than my alarm. I set my alarm like a little bit earlier, like 4:20 instead of 4:30 a.m. And I just wanted to get out there a little, like 10 minutes earlier, because I don't know. If it's a long mileage, I'm going to be out there for a while. I actually woke up at like 4:08 before my alarm. And then like once I woke up and I'm like, okay, let me just check the time real quick. I tend not to look at my phone because I just don't want any lights in my eyes. But I was like, it seems like it's pretty early enough. And then I look at my phone, it's like 4:08. So I got up at 4:08. And then, yeah, the run was pretty smooth, man. So I actually did get, is it Meltodextin?
Okay.
Is that how you pronounce it?
Isn't it like maltodextrin or something like that?
Yeah, I think that, yes. Okay. So close enough. So I bought that, which is powdered carbs, for everyone that's out there wondering what the heck that is. And then I bought unflavored protein powder, some isolate protein powder, because I can't drink regular whey concentrate. It just bothers my stomach. But isolate, for some reason, it just agrees with me. And I obviously currently run with a liquid IV, so one of those packets. And I actually looked at some of the electrolyte packets. That is like the highest one with the potassium, like sodium, and I think magnesium levels. Some people say they even split them up so you get like 2 doses, but because of the high run, I wasn't gonna split up. I was gonna do half, and then I did all 3 of those powders with some salt in there with water. And and I think if you think about it this way, I think it was 30 grams of protein, around 50 grams of carbs. So I had roughly, what is that, 350 grams, around 320, 350 calories pretty much in that water bag. Everything went smooth pretty much until the sun came up. So around 6 a.m. So I started around just before 5, 4:50 or 4:55, and around 6 a.m., 6:30. The sun was for some reason just kind of late today. Usually it probably rose at 5:20, but I don't know, there must have been cloud coverage because I didn't really notice it until around 6:30, and that's when it kind of went downhill. It just, I don't know if it's the Arizona summer heat, but I literally so I stopped at 16 miles, and I called Sam. I was like, hey, can you meet me by this church, blah, 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 because there's a church she knows that we walk by. And I was like, do you mind just bring, because she starts a little bit later with work. So she was she brought me water, which was awesome. It's that literally pushed me to finish the run. So she brought me a whole bottle of water with some salt in it. And I filled up my Camelback, which has about 1.5 liters. And pretty much at 15 miles, I finished my water at 14. And once I got to 16, I just couldn't keep going if I didn't have more water. So I called her, and then I ran the mile, and then I stopped and wait for her. So I stopped at 17, and then I got the water. I just wanted to drink some before I started going. I kept it paused, and then thankfully I was able to finish the last 2. But man, this Arizona summer heat does not let down, and that's the one thing I can't wait for the Midwest, because it at least cools off, and you know how it is in the East Coast, at least cools off, where if I start at 5 in the morning, it doesn't get to 80, 85 degrees until 12, 1 p.m., maybe even 3.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, so it's it's just when I run the marathon in Florida in January, I get it, January it's going to be nothing compared to right now. So it might be a good thing I'm training in this, because it's the worst conditions you could train for a marathon, in my opinion. it's like really rough. Like especially when the sun comes out, it's already like 90 some degrees by the time the sun comes up. So yeah, I finished it, but I'm looking forward to like coming back home and just like training in the Midwest because it's like I said, it's rough. But I got it done. As long as I got it done, I'm fine with. And I think I averaged a 10-minute 02 pace, I think, per mile.
Yeah.
Which my goal for me is like 10 or below. Which I know it might be. Maybe I should say 10:30 or below, but like. All I'm trying to do is finish it, but other than that, I'm done talking. But yeah,
it's respectable. You were running for over 3 hours and 10 minutes today, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah, that's insane. That's ludicrous. I think the longest I've ever done is like 11 to 13 miles. So you have like an extra hour on me of running at that.
I couldn't even tell you the last time I lifted for 3 hours.
yeah, exactly. True. It was definitely with Billy. It was definitely with Billy at the FFC days.
Yeah, I literally, I think the most I lift these days is like maybe an hour and 15. Like I don't lift anything more than an hour 15, maybe an hour 30 if I'm talking to people at the gym. But yeah, it's just like one of those things. It's just like, man, and also too, like I need to like pick out like a playlist where when I'm playing music, like dude, I keep getting these like Spotify playlists, and like today was like motivational quotes and like mixed with like music. So like every 10 motivational quote songs, which I don't even know how you consider that a song, was like an actual. It was like, and then it's like, you are the best. You are not blessed. You earn to be blessed. Blah blah blah, and then it would be like, and I'm running the best of you by the Foo Fighters, and I'm like, where the fuck does this come from? Like, who made this playlist? Like sad person like that was trying to get through like a heavy run, and then all of a sudden Foo Fighters bounce on. Like,
oh my god, that's amazing, buddy.
Yeah. Other than that, I'm done talking. Robert, what are we talking about today, buddy? Let's worry about this half to talk about what we got to talk about today.
Yeah, we're talking about having enjoyment, finding enjoyment in the gym or working out, and a little bit on motivation today.
Yeah, that's a really good subject that you bring up because, man, if you're not having fun, why the hell do you do it? That's all I gotta say to start it off, Roman. But you can go ahead and talk about it.
And what's gonna keep you motivated? Because like that is not the number one thing, but I'd say that's a common thing that I hear from people is they'll say like, I'm not motivated to go to the gym today. It's like, oh, well, why not? Just not enjoying my workouts anymore. Why don't you try something different? Like I'm on this program. I got to stick with this program. Yeah, no problem with sticking to the program, but why not try something different to see if it helps spice things up a little bit? That's a great sign that like you're starting to get burnt out. So like do a different movement. If you're scheduled to do like lateral delts and you usually do like super ROM like lateral raises and you're like, I just don't care to do them today. All right, do barbell upright rows. Do it until you get like a nice shoulder pump, like do like just regular lateral raises with cables, for example. Whatever gets you excited, whatever gets you like moving, whatever is gonna like get you pumped to like work on that like particular muscle group, or maybe just do like a full body day type dealio. Maybe you just like completely mix it up. Maybe you're like, I've been kind of slacking on my quads a little bit and my calves. Hamstrings been fine. I wanted to do chest today. Throw it all in. Make it a buffet. I'll do that sometimes. I've been crazy busy this summer. So like I have a program. I try to stick to the program. Hey, these are my movements. But if like something comes up, my mother calls me. I need you boys to come over and help me move. So it's like, okay, well, I'm gonna be moving, right? I'm not getting in the workout that I want to get in, but I'm still like gonna be moving. I'm still gonna be doing something like healthy, productive for myself. I'm helping out my family, all this stuff. So the next day when I go to the gym, I might be like, damn, I only did quads once this week. I'm just gonna throw in a couple extra sets of leg extensions. Sometimes just that little like change in your workout can like freshen things up. So you're not just like, oh, I have leg press first, and then I have Bulgarian split squats, and then leg extensions for quads today. It's like maybe you just hammer 4 sets of leg extensions, and then you do body weight squats until you drop. Like maybe you need to mix it up like that.
Wait, and
So
then
that's
real quickly, and I'm noticing that like, hey, like it's okay to change like workouts. It's if you do bicep curls with dumbbells, you could use cable curls. So Roman, real quickly, the following up question is like, because this is the Gainz podcast, we really most of the time we're talking about like powerlifting, bodybuilding. But like, what would you say to the people to say like, hey, lifting's not really my thing. Like I don't really like lifting. What can I do to like better my health, better my body, so I don't feel like crap. I don't get these bad health conditions that a lot of people happen when we're not moving. So what would you say to someone like that?
walk, shoot hoops, go to like a public ice rink and like skate, like whatever your interests are. Like, do you have interest in like being out in nature? See if you can find a hiking trail and see if you can just do like a half a mile of it, a very short loop. Go like download the All Trails map, like only look at easy trails and do something that seems like reasonable to you. It might be challenging, right? You want it to be challenging because at the end of it, you want to be like, whoo, that was pretty challenging, but I got through it. I pushed through that. That's a great feeling to have of accomplishment, right? But it really depends on the individual, what their interests are. If somebody if they hate throwing a football, I wouldn't say that like the the physical activity you should like first jump into if you lead a sedentary lifestyle is tossing a football. But maybe you like kicking around a soccer ball. So you can kick around a soccer ball around like an open field. You can call up some of your buddies. Hey, I'm looking to get active. I was gonna go to XYZ field and kick around a soccer ball, and you wanna like come hang out. We can grill afterwards, whatever. Definitely do stuff that you like. That's a great foray into physical activity, and then also that can like lead into other things. So maybe you're kicking the soccer ball around with your friend, and they mention like, oh, I'm training for like a 5K. Like, oh, how far is that? Oh, it's 3.1 miles. Oh, cool. When are you doing that? Doing it in 4 months. Oh, sweet. Are you looking to have like a running partner, a running buddy? Yeah, that'd be really nice. And then it can like help like encourage you, motivate you through like somebody else that's going through that process. You can like run with them, et cetera, et cetera. So I think that like physical activity can lead into like other physical activity, right? Like I might go for a walk during lunch, and then like I still have some time when I get back from my walk, and I see the basketball like in like sitting in my car. So I grab the basketball, I shoot hoops for like 15 minutes before I need to like jump back on and like start making sales calls, like whatever it might be. Like that's kind of how like that kind of thing will happen. What do you think about that, buddy?
Yeah, the only thing I wanted to add is like this. Yeah, that's like the biggest thing too that I wanted to ask you about, like people who aren't into lifting weights, like because most of the time, and this is like through assumption, it's like when I'm posting about like my heavy deadlifts or my heavy farmer carries or like all this stuff with like lifting, and people are like probably like, man, Antoine, he just cares about lifting. He doesn't care about anything else. It doesn't, you have to lift to be in optimal health. We share the blood work, Antoine only lifts, blah, blah, blah. But see, the thing is, I wanted to like talk about that. That's why I asked you, because it makes me wonder, because it's just like, just because I lift doesn't mean like you have to lift to get to where like Roman and I are at. And just because like I lift like powerlifting, bodybuilding style, you could lift CrossFit. You could lift functional fitness. You could lift, you could just do calisthenics. You could do Olympic lifting. Like you could do any of that stuff and like be totally fine. I don't think it's the one way to become optimal in your health. Maybe lower your health risk. I don't think that's it. I also want people to realize that like Roman and I don't think that's like the one and only thing. But we share the common interest and we're knowledgeable about it. That's why we talk about it the most. But we want to make sure like people understand like Roman and I don't just like lift. Like when we were back home on Saturdays was my off day from lifting. I couldn't tell you how many times I played tennis, basketball, walked, rode a bike, went swimming, played volleyball. all those different activities that I enjoy. Because when I was a kid, I played like all sports. Like I never played one sport. Like obviously I never played like league sports with like all these sports, but like some of them I did. But like I would play like multiple sports as a kid, and because the fact that I liked them so much, I just never really was like choosy for it. Like if like my friends wanted to play like kickball, let's play kickball. If my friends want to play basketball, let's play basketball. Baseball, no problem. Like it's kind of like what Roman was saying. Like just because like you want to like say if you enjoy something like soccer, like and you talk to that person and they're like, well, I'm running a 5K, then if that interests you or that's something that you don't do often, then try it. Like on the other spectrum of things, try things. Like there's so many intramural like sports like places around your village or city that will probably have something for you. And like some of these people just want to have fun. Like obviously I can't join those sports because I get way too serious. That's why I given up on softball leagues for adult leagues because I would just if our team wasn't doing well, like I was just concentrating on being the best I could, and it's just not fun because like I'm too competitive. And Roman knows exactly where I'm coming from, but like because you never did that 5K, then try it, and then that might lead to something else. Like, oh, you like running? Cool. Well, basketball is a lot of running. Well, maybe I'll pick this orange weird looking ball up and shoot it in this round net looking thing, and maybe I'll enjoy that next. And then now you're pretty good at basketball because you already have the cardio from all that running from soccer and the 5Ks you've been running. So the whole idea is to get up and get moving, and never to focus on something you don't like. Like I've told Roman many of times, like, man, I just don't want to bench press with the barbell. Okay, what did I do differently? Dumbbells. Did I grow my pecs and my chest? Yes. Roman, I don't like the curl with the barbell. It hurts my wrist and forearm because I just think the concentration is just weird on my hands and my joints. Then I'm using cable curls. I'm doing dumbbell curls. So yeah, that's the only thing I had to add. What was another question I had for you, Roman? What the heck was it? I don't know. I don't know the question, buddy.
No, that was all good stuff. And like a big thing about like finding motivation is like just saying like mini goals. Just because like some days you're gonna wake up and you're not gonna feel motivated. But in crushing those mini goals and having like little like stepwise goals, so you want to work up, you've never done like a run in your life, okay? You've like walked a little bit, you're mostly sedentary, working off the job. You set a goal for finishing a 5K. Just like try to get through like one loop around a track, for example. Just a slow jog without stopping. That's your first mini goal. And you say within like the first 2 weeks, I want to be able to do that. And I want to be able to do that at least twice on 2 consecutive runs. And let's say you say every third day I will run. That's perfect, as opposed to saying, I want to be able to run this 5K, even though I don't run at all, under 20 minutes. Completely unreasonable. For some people, they might be able to do that, but don't set that like bar that high. So I think we've talked about this on this channel before, but it always makes sense to like repeat it. So one of the things that like the organization that Antoine and we talk about is saying like SMART goals. So it's going to be specific. It's going to be measurable. It's going to be like adaptable or something along those lines. You have to be like responsive. I'm like just making it up at this point.
I think it's attainable for some reason.
Attainable. There you go.
Yeah, if the goals are attainable.
It's going to be results oriented. That's what it is. And then it's going to be some sort of timeline tied next to it. So that's why I said you do the 1 lap around or a quarter mile around like a high school track, for example. It's like a lot of towns will have something like that. And you don't even have to set a time. You just want to do it with a continuous jog. And you want to be able to do that continuously twice within the first 2 weeks of your training. Something along those lines. Perfect SMART goal for you. And then have something else. Okay, you did that. Congrats. Celebrate. That's awesome. You're freaking crushing it. You're moving towards that goal of being able to run that 5K nonstop with without stopping. So the next goal is, okay, twice. You want to be able to run around it twice without stopping in 2 consecutive runs. Beautiful. And just like measure that out. So let's say like you go about that process. So you need to take at least 12 weeks to be able to train for that road race. If the road race is in 6 weeks and that's like how you're going to do it, you're kind of setting yourself up for failure, right? Because you're just expecting this giant leap in athletic ability. That's not how it works. Some people do have like naturally like born gifts, but a lot of people, they just like work on it every day and for hours and hours and hours and hours every day. So don't set yourself up for failure. Create those mini goals, which will keep you accountable and continually like provide that like that oomph, that like, hey, that achievement, like, hey, you did great, like keep going. And then eventually you'll find out that you're like very, very, very close to your goal. And then eventually you'll crush that goal.
Yeah, that's some good talking points, because like we talked about before, like I started training for the marathon in March, and like I know some people train less than that, like to get to that point, but like I just knew I haven't ran in a while, and I just wanted to make sure I took my time to get there. And like obviously, if you guys have been listening, I'm up to like 19, and I got just over 7 more to go, and like I'll be there. So by the time like the year ends, I'll be like pretty much like 3 miles away from like the end goal. And yeah, I don't know how far I'm gonna push it, but like it's just, yeah, I'm kind of doing that stuff to keep myself, making that goal attainable for me. So yeah, that's all I gotta say.
You're crushing it, buddy. I'm proud of you.
All right, guys, if you guys like this, if you made it this far, please go to the gym. Make sure you go to the gym. You've listened way too much by this point. You need to implement this message. Find your passion in lifting. Go ride a bike. Go walk. Go join a martial arts class. Go play tennis. Play paddleboard. Go surfing. Go lift some weights. I don't know what it is, but just get up and get out. So if you made it this far, make sure you did your lift. You've done your workout. Comment below if you've done your lift, or what did you do as an exercise. If you're doing one right now after listening to this. But follow us on Instagram and check us out on YouTube. Follow Roman's channel, my channel, and then we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.